Harden, greatest scorer ever, and Westbrook MVP, whatevs. Once again, fourth quarter, 82 all, season on the line, take a lead on the Lakers, 3 meaningful shots for James Harden. Folks, some guys are built for it. Some guys are not. LeBron was engaged, assists, points, blocks, leading, yelling, chirping. He never stops talking. LeBron's all over the floor. Harden, you can tell, gets passive. Yeah, Kawhi checks out occasionally on a Tuesday night in Memphis. But you got to say this for Kawhi Leonard. Spurs, Raptors, and Clippers. When you need him late, nobody like him to get a bucket and get a stop other than LeBron James. The NBA has never been about stats. If it were, Joy and I would talk about Karl Malone all the time. But we talk about LeBron and Magic and Bird and Michael Jordan. It's about moments. It's not about points. It's not about points. And James Harden had 33 last night. Congratulations. But if you watch the games and you watch the fourth quarter and you're waiting for the big star to take over, it's a 50-50 proposition with Harden. I mean, LeBron James, without calling out James Harden, because Rondo has a history, and he's kind of a shot fighter. Rondo's got a history, and he's not close to Harden as a talent anymore, and he's way past his prime, but he's a big game player. LeBron kind of hinting at what we all know to be true this morning about those big moments and how some guys just not built for them.
We don't know how many opportunities we're going to get at this level. Some people is built for this moment, and some people are not. And I just think that when you've been in the process and you've been building your mind and your body and your soul for the postseason, no matter the circumstances, no matter the environment, then you're able to rise.
Can you imagine how we would rip LeBron if he only took 3 meaningful shots in the fourth quarter last night? LeBron is sometimes, and this happens to a lot of people, you become a victim of yourself. His standards are so high that I haven't, but people will rip LeBron for making a brilliant pass to a wide open shooter in a big spot, for not taking a bad shot. But this morning on Harden, well, he scored 33 points. Crickets. Come on, man. The book's written on Westbrook. It's written on Giannis. It's totally written on Harden. He's a great scorer, and that's kind of it. He's not a great leader. He's not great in big spots consistently. And by the way, I'd vote Hall of Fame. It's not about that. No, he's a Hall of Famer. But, I mean, at some point, are we going to acknowledge now, outside of Kawhi, nobody in this league in year 17 is as dependable, as engaged, is the leader, is the force, is the... I mean, LeBron last night is barking and talking and blocking and passing and scoring. Harden's kind of... You watch him, and you're like, is Harden on the floor? You never said that in the regular season. Once again last night, you said it in a big spot on Harden in the postseason. So this is funny. I was saying this yesterday. When you love something, I mean, you're really, like your kids, you're not very objective. Like, right? I'm not really objective with my kids. Yeah, everybody's kids are going to be president. Maybe of a frat house, but they'll be president, right? And it's the same with football. We love football. We bet football. We watch football. You know, the old saying about the NBA, and even Adam Silver and the late David Stern know this, it's a great story league. People don't really watch the games. Look at 2 million, 1 million people. But it's a great story league. The NFL is the sport we watch. We watch bad teams. We watched the Cleveland Browns last year. We watch bad. We don't watch bad NBA basketball. We watch bad NFL football. We bet bad NFL football. And so we're so passionate about it that when you make an obvious comment, people get mad at you. People get all fired up. Nobody is objective about it. So this morning, Pro Football Focus says Dak Prescott is a legitimate MVP candidate. Fox Bet has Dak Prescott as an MVP frontrunner over Deshaun Watson, Drew Brees, Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. Daniel Jeremiah, one of the smartest guys in the country talking football, former scout, says, my predictions for the season, Dak Prescott MVP. I'm like, wait. He's got an aging offensive line. They lost a Hall of Fame center. Zeke's slightly slower every year. New coach, new system, and Dallas has struggled last several years to beat really, really good teams. I said yesterday I had my top 10, and I didn't have Dallas in it. In fact, I don't have Dallas 11, 12, or 13. People went nuts. So I thought this morning, I'm just going to offer 5, I think these are completely obvious NFL takes for the season starting tomorrow. These are obvious. These aren't even contrarian. These aren't takes. So, number 1, the Raiders will be bad again because they were horrible last year. They couldn't score past week 12. They got blown out 6 times by 18 points or more. And with no preseason and OTAs, how have they sandpapered what was a mess last year? All right, their division's great. Number 2, the Patriots will have their worst year in 2 decades. 8 players opted out, lost several key free agents, the greatest quarterback left of all time, the best offensive line coach retired, and the division's better. Isn't this obvious? Number 3, Joe Burrow's going to struggle. He's going to get mauled. He's not going to win 5 games. The division's better. The defenses in Pittsburgh, Cleveland up front, and Baltimore are scary. Burrow didn't have a preseason. He is going to look awful in most weeks. He's going to be completely, utterly overwhelmed. Number 4, the Ravens can go undefeated. Have you looked at the schedule? They almost never travel west. They almost don't travel. They return everybody except they've added players. Easiest schedule in the NFL, according to people who make schedules and judge how difficult they are. They don't really have a weak spot. They finally addressed an average pass rush by getting Calais Campbell. And Lamar Jackson, really, that's the question? He won MVP. And finally, Cowboys will be average. I mean, 9-7 in the NFL is kind of average. I didn't say they're going to be bad. It could be average. Offensive line's getting old, lost a Hall of Famer. Zeke a little slower every year. New coach, new system, no preseason. Ooh, they got CeeDee Lamb. Since when have great wide receiving cores won the league? Last year, the Rams had a great wide receiving core. They finished 9-7. The Cowboys going to be average. Washington's going to be a better football team. New York should be a better football team. Philadelphia cannot get hurt as much. I went and looked at the Cowboys' schedule this morning. You tell me where it's easy. It starts with 3 Super Bowl quarterbacks, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, and Russell Wilson. Then you get one of the most talented rosters, the Browns. By the way, in the middle of it, you have to go to Philadelphia. You play Pittsburgh and Minnesota. Those are loaded rosters. And at the end, it gets real easy. At Baltimore, 49ers and Eagles. Other than about week 5 to about week 7, I don't see the let up. I don't see the breathing room. I don't know. Raiders will be bad. Patriots' worst year in 20 years. Joe Burrow's going to be completely, utterly overwhelmed. I mean, these are not wild takes. Cowboys are going to be average. I know. Send the hate mail. Oh, I forgot. Baltimore can go undefeated. Not saying they will. They can. I think I may pull back on them a little bit. We'll talk about that later. I do have until the end of tomorrow's show to make amendments on my NFL predictions. I will make 2 amendments today. So I'll do that before the end of the hour. That is coming up. Coming up also, we forget sometimes the conditions certain people live in